Hi guys, I'm Lily. This is Candy Goth Creations, a place for me to come and share all my random craftiness, life, bits, bobs. I'm coming to you from Cornwall, which is in the southwest of the UK, where I live with my partner. So I think then who I live with? No. My partner and 3 tiny humans. It has been a wet and miserable day. But there we go. It's the 26th of August. It's a Sunday. I have really random hair today that's not cooperating. And I've started something new. I need to actually start finishing projects, but I've started something new. So I started this yesterday. And it's just to use up scraps, really. And I've just had another idea of something else that I'm going to do. So I am making, I think I've got 2 scrap blankets on the go, but I don't want to work on either of those, which is a bit of an issue. But I've started this. I will show it to you. I'm just going to put it so it's not all going to undo itself. You can't really, it's a bit big for you to see what it is. So it's going to be that's the bottom of it. I love these colours. It's going to be like a little toy basket with handles that my youngest one can just drag around from room to room with his. He has loads of like toys that are like this big that he likes to drag around with him that end up in various things for him to drag around. But I thought if I could just make him a basket, he can just chuck them in there. It's big enough to fit. So he likes Paw Patrols, and I think there's 6 of those with their own cars. And then he's got mini ones, and he's got bigger ones. But this is big enough to fit all of them in. And essentially, it's an oversized hat. I kind of want to climb inside it. Like. That's basically what it is. I'm holding, I'll show you what I'm doing. Move that. I'm using a 4.5mm hook. And I have 3 of these. These are what I call my scrap cakes. So it's just little random ends of yarn that I've just magic knot and then put through a ball winder. So I'm holding 3 of these together on a 4mm so that it's rather stiff. Like it's a little bit floppy, but I don't mind that but it holds its shape okay when it's actually flat on the floor. The only thing that I'm doing that's constant throughout, the only colour thing I'm doing that's constant throughout is I'm holding a neutral or a white all the way through. So you can see there's like, throughout it there's like an ivory creamy colour, which is cool. So I'm going to finish this hopefully in the next day or 2 because he wants it already. He was sat in there earlier, so I can fit my tiny human in here. He's quite small for his age, but he was sat in there, which wasn't helpful because I was trying to actually work on it. But then our hallway is really boring. It's quite narrow and it's just a hallway. It's, you know, dull. So I'm actually thinking once I've finished this, I am going to, depending on how much yarn I've got loads of scrap yarn that I've got left, and I might put in just the colours that I wouldn't want in a blanket. Yeah, and I'm just going to do like treble crochets backwards and forwards just to make a rug type thing. And I've seen either in Poundland or B&M they have, so I'm going to keep showing you these colours because these colours are so fun. They have, I can't remember what they're called. They're like anti-slip things, and it's like a rubber mat, like gridded, like a rubber net thing that you put under a rug to stop it like wiggling around. So I'll sew that onto the back of it, and that'll be a good one. But I really like this. I really like the bottom of it. My little one loves the colour pink. It's his favourite colour. So this has got loads of pink in the bottom of it. It is cool. And when he gets bored of it, I can have it back. So I am making it quite big, like. And it is just, it's the same way as I make my hats, just bigger. And with more yarn, because I don't hold 3 yarns together to make a hat. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. There's a really nice bit, and it's not really coming up on camera. It's here, and it's where the colours change, and there's a row of, so 2 pink and 1 cream, and then it goes pink, blue and cream, and then it fades out to like the cream and like 2 blues, and then it goes into like the purples. So it's really cool. I like it. And it's just using up all my odds and ends. So my other 2 scrap project-y blankets, one of them is knitted, and it's a cozy memory blanket. And I have a thing about knitting where I don't, and because it's like, it's blocks but they're joined as you go, I only like them to be one colour. So I need big enough scraps to do that. My other scrap, the other scrap thing I'm working on is a scrap blanket, and that's a granny stripe, and I don't mind if that's higgledy-piggledy. So I've got a basket on the go, I've got a scrap granny square, and I've got a scrap cozy memories blanket. I think I need to stop making blankets. That's not going to happen. I enjoy making blankets. Blankets are just, they're a source of comfort. Like, it's like being cuddled. You know, I've actually got, this is my, I'm sat on my first ever scrap blanket that I made. And it's huge. It's just a giant granny. And it is ginormous. But this one's got these things, because when I told people that I was learning to crochet, they bought me loads of like the novelty scarf knitting kits and stuff like that, because it had fun looking yarn, which is a nightmare to work with. But for things like granny squares, you don't need to see the stitches, so you can just do it because you just go in holes. But this, so I think I've said before, 2 of my children have had scarlet fever. One of those has had it twice. But whenever they're ill, this is what they go to. They go to this blanket and they cuddle up under it, and that is it. And they turn into like little sofa slugs. But they just love it. And then after they've stopped being all full of lurgy, it gets put in the wash. So it's clean and not covered in bacteria and germs and all that jazz. Then look, like, this is the most unfinished edge I've ever seen. Look at that. Like, this is probably like one of the first blankets that I ever made. And it's huge. It's, so it's my wingspan plus about 7 inches. So it's a good 6 foot square. And it's just got random, all the random colours, like some random sparklies, some thinner, some thicker, some like, I don't know how well that's going to show up, like some textury, like really super soft stuff, some fuzzy eyelashy bits and bobs, but they love it. Some like just really random, and they make blanket forts with it, I'm not overly precious with this one. This one isn't one that I'm like, yeah, no, guys, don't hang that up. This, I'm fine with them throwing around and hanging up because I can just fix it. They're blankets that I've made for them. They have, one of them has a Ripple blanket. Is it Ripple? No, it's a chevron blanket that I started when I was pregnant with. That's my middle one, so I started when I was pregnant with him, and I think I finished it when he was about 6 months old. And the other one has a rainbow granny stripe blanket, and they're the, and what's the little one? And the little one's got a very, he's got a lot of blankets. He has got a scrap granny blanket with his name in crocheted letters across the bottom of it. He's got a granny's, not a granny star, just a star blanket, I don't know, a 5-point star blanket. He has a lot of blankets, and he still steals mine, little stinker. Right, so I am going to go because this has been 11 minutes of me gibbering on. I hope everyone is well. Let me know what you do with your scraps. This is going to be my question. If you stuck with me this long, comment down below about what you do with your scrap yarn. Do you put it into granny squares? Do you, I don't know, do you make, if it's big enough, do you make amigurumi? I've made amigurumi out of scrap yarn. I'm actually thinking about making amigurumis out of like my scrap cakes. If I'd done like tonal ones. I don't know. So tell me what you do with your scraps. Bye.